We're here with Gustav Melletin, co-founder and director at Adform. Hi, Gustav.
Hi, how are you doing?
Good here. I hope you have good days here in this busy fair. What is Adform and what services does it offer?
So Adform is really a advertising technology platform. We like to talk about that we are a broad platform that comprises a number of different functionalities across both creative, data and trading. So really kind of three products. So the creative is really about the ad serving. It's about how you create the ad, how you serve the ad to the screen, how you optimize it, how you do kind of dynamic advertising and so on. The data side is really about how you collect and manage and activate your data across different platforms. The last part is really about the trading of the inventory, so the ability to buy and sell advertising space in real time.
Okay. And how was the beginning of the company? Can you tell us something about this? Were you in the beginning or not?
I was there from day one. So I'm one of the three founders of Adform. So Jakob and Stefan and I were both engineers. So we went to the same engineering school. We went out and got jobs. You know, Jakob and I worked in consulting. Stefan was working more on the technical side, and we decided that we needed some adventure in our lives, and we said, hey, what's a good thing to do? And we started really reading, industry reports about different industries, kind of where could we put technology to work that could make a difference. And at some point we kind of fell over this advertising industry. And we just read it was a $500 billion industry that was all going to go digital. So $500 billion going from analog to digital over a relatively short period of time. We thought that was a good place to make a difference. So we got together and we really had no idea about advertising as such. We never worked within it, any of us. So we started working directly with the media agencies and kind of looked at what were their workflows and how did they go about this. And we found out, that it was really kind of archaic, old-fashioned. We started kind of working with one simple product, which was really about how you run a digital, the emerging kind of digital channel. How do you start a campaign, right? So so the way it worked was really they were sending just the ads physically to the sites, and they were getting Excel reports back and so on, and it took a long time to make it happen. And we just found a way to centralize all the ads on the server, sending scripts instead, and allowing them to get control over the ads, and also getting reports by just clicking a button. So if you click a button, you would get your full report up. So it was really that was the first product, and from then on we just kind of been developing the product all the way through.
Okay, so it's a big evolution, to come to this moment, no?
It's definitely been an evolution. I think the first 5 or 6 years were really just working on the ad server and kind of taking it from one agency to 2 agencies in Denmark, and they said, well, this is actually working, let's try and take this into some more countries. We went into the Nordic countries, and from then on we took on some money and started more of a European expansion, right? So it's kind of been gradual.
What is more difficult, to start a company or to get the competitive company, no? to grow up now? Or to start this first year, as we say, with everything new?
So I think it's a different set of challenges, right? I think in the beginning it's just if you're a few guys in the basement and you're really just trying to get something to work, and it's really exciting, right? It's really exciting in the beginning because, every meeting you have you are trying to prove your ideas, right? You have no idea if what you're trying to do is going to work or not. So you go into a meeting and you come out and say, you get really depressed, and sometimes you're really happy, and it's really up and down. So it's really intense. I think at some point, as where we're at now, we know that we have products that are working, and it's more about fine tuning, and it's more about optimizing, and it's more about having a team, and it's a completely different. My role is very different today because 99% of the intelligence is elsewhere. It has nothing to do with me, and so it's really about making sure that we get all this intelligence to work as much as possible for the company.
What qualities makes Adform different from others?
So I think it's a few things, right? We talk about, one thing is about being independent, so not being aligned with media. So whenever you use Adform, you can be 100% sure that what our system tells you to do is what's best for you, and not for some media owner, right? So that's incredibly important, that we are not conflicted in any way. We talk about being open as well, so being fully integrated into the wider ad tech ecosystem, but also beyond that, so adjacent industries like MarTech and so on. So really kind of being interoperable and open across the industry is super important to us. And then I think just coming back to what I said in the beginning about the product, so having a really broad product portfolio. We don't believe that in 3 or 4 years or 2 years you're going to be talking about ad servers and DSPs and DMPs. We think it's all going to come together into one platform. That's the future of how the industry is going to evolve. We're seeing more and more enterprise clients looking at how do I kind of find one solution that can do it all. We're seeing the agencies breaking down a lot of the silos and merging the teams that have previously kind of been siloed around trading and operations and so on. I think there's a lot of trends in the industry right now that are pushing towards our vision for where the industry is going, which is really a platform thinking more than point solutions that you're trying to pull together, right?
Is Adform an independent company, and how do you achieve it?
So we are independent, yes, as I said, we are definitely independent in many ways, right? So we are not, when we talk about being independent, it's mainly that we don't have any affiliation with media, right? But in general, we don't have affiliation with different industries or different buyers or owners and so on. We are independent and a trusted partner that will independently allow you to evaluate your media investments.
Google will not buy you, or Salesforce or somebody will not buy you at this moment, right?
So we have a strong strategy for being independent. So we have a Danish pension fund that has invested into us, and they are there for the long run. So I mean, I think we have a very stable capital structure, very stable ownership structure, and we're kind of all aligned to kind of gun for the long term and for being independent.
When you say everyone can talk to everyone, what does it mean, this sentence?
Yeah, so we talk a lot about our DNA and our values, and one of the things one of the phrases we like is kind of being open and caring, right? And what does that mean? What it really means that in a company like ours that is scattered across so many countries and so many specialisms, it's really important to be collaborative, right? That everyone is working together. I'm not working for me, I'm not working against you, we're all working for Adform, and I think that's extremely important for a company like ours. As I said, most of the intelligence sits, not with the top guys, but it sits somewhere else in the org, and kind of putting structures in place that allows all these great ideas to bubble up. That's one of the things that we're really trying and invest into. We like to kind of have what we call advisory boards, where people who are not in leadership positions necessarily, but really are influencers and know a lot about what's happening on the floor or kind of the coal face of things. We'll get together and think about how we can improve Adform, right? And we do hackathons, for example, where everyone comes together and all the ideas that haven't been prioritized and so on can be tried out, and we do town hall meetings and have processes for bubbling ideas up. And I think that's to me super important, and part of that is of course that people speak across geographies, across specialisms, across seniority levels, and gather in front of the water cooler and really kind of all the time are thinking about how can we improve things.
Very open-minded company, no?
I think open-minded and open-hearted. I think in many ways, right? So I think we're all welcoming and like to be open about things, and not. I mean, political is something in general that I think in Adform, it sticks out like a sore thumb. You say in English, right? That if you get a political animal into Adform, everyone looks, that looks weird, right? I mean, we're not used to it. So I think the whole political agenda thing is something that doesn't fly very well in Adform.
Gustav, what do you think about artificial intelligence and advertising? Is it a buzzword, or will it go through some big place, or what do you think? Because in this DMEXCO everybody's speaking, or it's one of the words we are listening all the time.
So of course it's somewhat a buzzword, right? Because when everyone says it, it has somewhat become a buzzword. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think digital advertising is probably one of the fields in the world where there is really need and use for artificial intelligence or machine learning or big data, whatever you want to call it. It is really one of the fields where you have so many signals millions and millions and millions of signals coming in every second, and there is no way of handling that without applying, machine learning or artificial intelligence, whatever you want to call it, right? So is it buzzword? Yes, because everyone is saying it. Of course it's a buzzword, but does it also make sense? It definitely makes sense, and we're investing a lot. We have a big team of around 20 data scientists that are all the time thinking about how can we take all that data and make it come to work for our clients in terms of recommendations. So automated recommendations for our clients about how should they actually be going about their strategies, but it's also about algorithms, so optimizing to different KPIs that our clients may have. So we have automated big data or machine learning algorithms that are all the time able to optimize our clients' campaigns. We have like forecasting and so on. So there's a lot of different areas that are differentiating for us where we apply machine learning and artificial intelligence. And it's only going to get bigger, right? I think one of the things interesting here is kind of where is it going? Is it going to be trust the machine and the machine just does everything, or is it going to be more of a recommendation thing where the machine advises you on what you could do? So I think that's still kind of one of the fields that's going to be interesting to look at how the different platforms develop.
It's clear in the next years it will revolution our business, our works. Also the place the people who works in this business, we'll see what happens with all this algorithm and all these intelligences, because some jobs will
I think across everything we see in the world, we're going to see different revolutions and definitely as much in this industry as everywhere else.
We'll see. What are the principal trends in the sector in short and long term? A number of different trends. I still like to talk about this kind of platform. I think moving towards platforms instead of these point solutions. I think to me that's still something which I think is an important underlying trend. I think the use of data as well. So the use of data platforms and the ability to apply data to your media buy is important. We invest a lot into what we call cross-channel platforms. So also, how do you work across TV and outdoor and video and mobile and different platforms, right? It's all becoming screens, and how do we actually make sure that we can work seamlessly across all of these things? So that's super important. There's a lot of different trends in terms of the value chain and so on, consultancies coming in and so on, right? So I think there's advertisers and more coming into play and making technology decisions and so on. So I think there's a lot of things happening. It will not be boring for us.
Exactly. There's still enough stuff to be happening.
A lot of changes. What are Adform objectives in the next years? What do you want for this company?
So we've been, I think, on the expansion route in a couple of dimensions, right? So one is about the countries and the geographies and our ability to kind of serve what I would call global clients. So in many ways, getting kind of that global footprint in place in Europe, where we have a strong footprint, but also in the US and Asia, has been a big investment for us over the last years, and kind of continuing to really kind of build that is extremely important. Mainly because the key clients of ours just need us to be able to serve them across that very wide geographical footprint. And also, I think, of course, investing into some of these trends we just talked about, right? So investing into the data platform, investing into our cross-media ability, so the ability to kind of be that platform you log into, and whatever media you want to buy, keep investing into the product development across our cross-media platform. Kind of we talk about being the Bloomberg advertising screen, where we can really buy any media in the world through one screen, but really being not just the buying screen, but also working across the planning side, the execution side, the optimization side, and data intelligence side as well, right? So it's really kind of that complete vision that I think has been the dream of advertisers and agencies for a long time, and that is finally coming true, right?
Okay, and my last question, Gustav, what do you think about this DMEXCO 2018? How do you see it? And what are the products or services you are offering this year? Is there something new here in your state?
Yes, so I think, always great to be here at DMEXCO. It's a fantastic show. I think we're seeing some new trends around, the consultancy is coming in, as we talked about, many more kind of the MarTech companies, the Salesforces of this world. I think one funny thing is to see, one of our big competitors has really kind of raised their walls more than before. We've always kind of have raised consumer walls, but nowadays we're seeing that it's really hard even for the clients to get into some of these walled gardens. So I think that's an interesting observation. I think some of the stuff that we've been launching this year is really about data, so the audience marketplace, or DMP, so the ability to really work with audiences in a more seamless, more easy way. We have launched some exciting things around dynamic creative, so this ability to stitch ads together in real time based on a lot of different signals from the DMP, but also from our buying engine. So we have launched something called Adform Signals that allows you to inform the creative from the bid request from the buying engine. So those are some things. We have also launched some new stuff around recommendations, so the ability to really kind of give recommendations across a number of different applications on how should you actually be using the system. So instead of you having to go to the reporting side and find your insights and then go back, we just have recommendations that allow you to say, you should actually be investing more into this data audience, into this publisher, and you just get, are you okay with that? And just click OK and it happens, right? So really making using the system easier and more logical for our clients.
Okay, so thank you very much for your time. Wish you the very best here at DMEXCO 2018.
Thank you very much.
And see you, I hope, in Spain someday.
I look forward to it, yeah, thanks.